life, sweet life, sweet life.
Hi, guys, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be doing some adorable Christmas themed chocolate covered pineapples. And we've done these a few times before, but I've had one of my regular clients order these for Christmas, so we're doing another video. So, these are canned pineapples. These are pineapple rings that I got in a can, and we're just going to make sure we completely pat them dry. And then we're going to be using our silicone donut mold, and for the white ones, these are white chocolate chips. So I am going to be adding just a little bit of coconut oil to the white chocolate chips, just because it was kind of thick after I actually melted it. And you guys know I usually like to use almond bark, but I didn't have any white almond bark. I only had white chocolate chips, so I had to thin this out a little bit because, you know, I'm used to almond bark, which is very loose and I don't have to add anything. This is a lot thicker, and it's like, I don't want to use the word rubbery, but it's like it like pulls, whereas like almond bark like is flowy. So it was giving me, a hard time actually going around the mold. You see, I'm like lifting it and turning it, and eventually I got it around. So I'm just going to use my butter knife to work it up the sides and then also up the middle. And then this is going to go into the freezer for about 2 or 3 minutes just to harden up. So now these are out of the freezer. The chocolate has hardened up. So now we're going to get those dry pineapple rings. Like I said, you want to make sure they're completely dry. I've had them sitting out for about 45 minutes, and I keep patting them dry with a napkin so they're completely dry. And so I'm just going to split them and get them in there. You can absolutely take another ring and cut a little piece of it to fill in the circles. I didn't do that because I only had just enough to make the 12 of these. And so now I'm just going to use that white chocolate to cover it up. You want to make sure you get some extra chocolate in the space that there's no pineapple. Like I said, you can actually take another ring and cut it so you can fill in the whole circle if you'd like. I actually had started making these before without using the mold. I was just dipping them in chocolate regular, and I did not like the way they looked without the donut mold. So that's why I had already used some of my chocolate and some of my pineapple, so I don't have any extra. This white chocolate was actually a whole bag of white chocolate. As you can see, these do take a lot more chocolate. So this was a whole bag that it took to cover 4 pineapple rings. So keep that in mind. If you are using like candy melts or bags, you'll need, for a dozen, you will need 3 bags. So yeah, these take a lot of chocolate, but they come out so nice. They're so pretty, and I just like the way they look. So they're worth the extra chocolate. Like I said, this is for one of my regulars. So I've used that extra chocolate and covered it up, and they're going to go back in the fridge. So this is actually chocolate almond bark. And as you can see, it's a lot thinner, a lot more flowy, and much easier to work with. You'll see as I get it into the cavities, and when I get ready to like mix it around, you'll see how much easier it flows through the actual mold than the white chocolate did. You see, I'm just wiggling it, and it actually just filled up the entire mold, whereas the white, I was fighting for my life, honey. And so this is why I love my almond bark. But like I said, I didn't have that much almond bark, chocolate almond bark left, because I had already started making these. And like I said, I didn't like the way they look, so I had already used some of my almond bark and some of my pineapples, so I didn't have any extra. But I absolutely love the way the almond bark ones actually work. So I'm doing the same thing with the dried pineapples, and that chocolate is out of the freezer. It was in the freezer for 2 minutes. I'm doing the same thing, and I'm going to cover it up just like we did the white ones. And as you can see, I literally just had just enough chocolate to cover these up. I'm going in and like covering up any spaces that it didn't fill. And as you can see, like because I'm filling it in, they're not as smooth at the bottom as the white chocolate ones were because I had more chocolate. But I did make sure it was completely covered, and they did end up coming out really good. But I literally only had just enough chocolate for these four. So I had four white ones, four milk chocolate ones, and then I had four of the red ones. Okay, so now they're all out of the fridge. They were all in the fridge for about 10 minutes and they've hardened up. And as you can see, I'm using my finger to push down the middle and get those out. And you see how pretty those look? Like they just look like little donuts, but then they're actually pineapples. They are so cute. And whenever I make these, they are always such a crowd favorite because nobody expects them to be pineapples. They expect them to be like a donut or candy, but they don't expect them to actually be pineapples. And so like I said, the chocolate ones are not that smooth on the bottom. So I'm going to actually use a pair of scissors and I'm actually going to just cut off that extra chocolate around the edge so they will sit a bit more flat. And like I said, if I had more chocolate, I would have filled it in even more so they could have been more flat around the bottom. But I did waste some of my chocolate actually trying to dip them regular, and then I changed my mind, so I didn't have as much chocolate left. But like I said, they still came out pretty good. So we have our white ones, we have our chocolate ones, and then we also have our red ones that I made off camera. I made those with red candy melts. And so we're going to end up getting just a simple chocolate drizzle onto each one and some sprinkles. I just have some leftover chocolate in a piping bag. I cut a tiny hole and I'm just going to get a drizzle over like half of the pineapple. And as you can see, we just got a simple drizzle on them and some cute little holiday sprinkles. And this is how they came out. So cute, so classy looking. And I hope you guys give these a try. Don't forget to like, comment, and consider subscribing. Bye, guys.
Sweet life, sweet life.